Hello, hi, and welcome to Political Quickie, your political show that subjectively discusses political headlines in South Africa and all around the world. My name is Mapasik Amura. The Cultural, Religious, and Linguistic Rights Commission wants the religious sector to be regulated by law. This is a bit weird. Number one, for me as a Christian, and number two, because the law itself, South African law, talking about the common law and the constitution. So the common law is a mixture of the Roman Dutch law with influences of English law. And that in itself, its origins, its basics are Christianity. The constitution itself also, talks about how God bless our people. And the national anthem itself makes so many references to God. So it would be weird for now the law to regulate religion when initially Christianity regulated the law. So weird. I do understand the need for government to want to regulate religion because of all the weird things that have been happening. People paying thousands and thousands of rands just to consult with their pastors. People eating grass, snakes, drinking petrol. Like it's gotten really bizarre. But also, I fear that government now stepping in and wanting to regulate religion will not give the church carte blanche and the church to be able to do what it is that it needs to do. So this is bizarre. But I think the biggest problems, especially us as Christians, is that number one, we do not have a personal relationship with God. And that's kind of like the number one thing as a Christian. And number two, we don't read the Bible, which just makes everything pointless. Which leads to number three. And the Bible says that in end times there'll be a lot of false pastors. And now human beings, us, we then decide we're gonna allow other human beings that are not of God to sort of dictate to us what the solutions to our problems should be. It's kind of crazy though, right? When you think about it, is you've got two options. You could either kneel or not kneel, open your eyes or close your eyes and pray and be like, God, your word says, ask and it shall be given unto me. So I'm asking for A, B, and C. Please solve this problem for me, right? Or you could pay 250,000 rands just to fix a problem. It's kind of crazy that nowadays people trust their pastors, they trust human beings than they do God. We need to look inside. We honestly need to look inside. Anyways, moving right along, it seems that more names are being tossed into that hat of the people who will be running for the presidency of the ANC. Lindiwe Sisulu has been the latest to confirm that she accepts and she will be running. Along with Balegam Bete and Matthew Sposa, obviously Cyril Ramaphosa, and Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma. So they are your candidates. And I think if I were an ANC supporter, do you guys remember the day when you are all ANC and nothing? Like, oh my gosh. Like when you were like young and like your parents and everyone would just be talking about the ANC and you'd be like, wow, that's where we come from. And then now it's just like, really? So yeah, it's just weird to see the transition. So if I were an ANC supporter, I think I'd want to see a debate like among the candidates and just hear what each of them have to offer. A lot of people have been saying, no, our next president will be a woman. So actually, it will be interesting to see, like, whether will it be Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma, will it be Lindiwe Sisulu, will it be Balegambete, and I think Balegambete's political career will be defined by whether or not she gives this the secret ballot. So, like, it'll be interesting to see who wins the ANC presidency, but it'll be even more exciting to see who wins the 2019 elections. Like, I'm so excited. I do think that the EFF will gain ground, and it's weird. Like, whatever Juju says, it has a weird way of coming true. So maybe he'll have the leverage, and he'll be able to choose between the DA and the ANC. Like, okay, which one do I sort of form a coalition government with? So I know, but anything can happen. So I'm just excited to see what will happen. Yeah. I'm so excited. Moving right along, today we do not have an international story. We have a very weird national story. There's this debate going on about whether or not the South African Reserve Bank should be nationalized or not. So actually, this has been going on, like 2008 even. That was a debate. So I have a confession to make. Okay. For 21 years of my life, I did not know that the South African Reserve Bank, our central bank, was not owned by the government. I was shocked when I found out. I ran across my room, and then I came back, and then I threw myself on the floor, and I was kicking and screaming, and I could not believe it. But then I collected my thoughts after. So the main function of the Reserve Bank is to protect the value of our currency. Do you hear the importance of that? Right. So it does that through formulating and implementing monetary policy. Whew, so much power. Again, right? Oh my goodness. And this is such a big debate. But at the same time, after collecting my thoughts, I thought to myself, but actually, we shouldn't nationalize this. I mean, the ownership was weird initially. There was a guy, Michael Duer. I think that's how you pronounce his name. He's German. It's Duerr. So try and pronounce that. He and his family owned 57.5% of the bank. So imagine this guy in Germany owned 57.5% of our central bank. Right? But then the law changed, and one individual and their associates could only own 10,000 shares. So as I was saying, the bank should not be nationalized, only because there are too many thugs in pantsuits and skirt suits in the government. I feel like if the South African Reserve Bank is nationalized, that is when we will become a banana republic. I think it should be socialized in the sense that 80% of the bank should be owned by South Africans. And of course, there should be regulations around that, where you are only able to own a limited amount of shares, and a grandmother in Limpopo, doing subsistence farming, should also be able to own it. So the shares should be affordable, and we should make sure that not only a certain group of people own it, making sure that everybody is able to own this. And I think 20% of it should be owned by citizens of countries within the African Union, just for continental relations' sake, and just be like, here's 20%. If you want to buy it, But it shouldn't be nationalized. I feel like we the people should own it. I feel like that's awesome. That's actually awesome. That's what Let's Go Quickie for today. This is the 10th episode of the season, and it is the final episode of the season. So no, we will be back for season 2. Relax, relax. But we are taking, there's someone shooting this, but but me and my thoughts, we'll be back for season 2 after a week. So we'll take a week's break. So that means no political quickie next week Tuesday. I will be on a production break. Hey. Yes. So I have been honored to be able to share my views. I have been honored to hear what you guys think. To those of you who've let me know what you think, it's been an absolute honor to have those debates and actually learn a lot. I've learned so much from this, so I'm grateful for that. If there's anything that I do believe is that, guys, we will not become a banana republic. We are such a unique generation, and we've got so much to give. Not just in terms of protest and running around, but intellectually we've got so much to give that if we would really channel it, we would do a lot. We will do a lot. We will do a lot. And finally, I don't believe that Africa is a continent. Africa is not a continent. Well, technically it is, but Africa is a country. And that might not be evident right now, but I believe that in the long run, we will see. Africa is a country, and if we would just join hands and kumbaya, really just kumbaya, we would make the things to be done. I literally daydream about Africa being a country. But anyways, I love you guys. Be awesome. Use your talents to serve humanity. And I will see you after next week with a new and improved and hopefully a more challenging political quickie. I love you a lot.